Okay, Brian Edwards, Jalopy.music, Jalopy Music, Folk Sequence channel on YouTube. And we sell VST plugins. Also, they work in Logic audio units. But going to go through today is what do these things really sound like, right? So try to set up a relatively clean situation here in the DAW. I've got a drum kit going, but I'm going to mute that at first. Maybe try to bring in some bass and some drums, maybe loop a little guitar, rhythm guitar, and put some lead on top of it. But the main focus here is isolated sounds, right? Let's just go through. On the master chain here, I have a couple of soothes. This one's taking out kind of the buildup of reverb, and this is adding a room reverb to try to glue everything together in the mix. This one is taking out, cleaning up some low to mid in case we have a bass in there along with the guitar. Take out mud. This comes with, so it's not stock Bitwig, but it comes with one of, they come with like extensions that pop up, and I think it's free, is whatever, if you pay for Bitwig. It's called Quick Master, and it kind of does a quick and dirty job, not using too much CPU. But we'll go ahead. I do want to kind of level match this. Let's see here. Let me level match it with this drum real fast, okay? Let's see here, unsolo that. Okay, so we got the drum coming through. And we can see going through this Quick Master, we're coming in at a good level, about 0K20. And we're coming out here a little lightweight. Really that should be pushing it a little bit, but it's just a drum, so maybe not. And then what I want to do is I want to hit the same level about here. And what I'm going to do is take this wet gain here, drop that down. And you can see the drums are a little hotter now. Let's see here. Turn that mastering back on. We're going straight through, so it's the same before and after. So we just want to hit that. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is on the second tool, which is after this master chain, let's get this where it's pushing the limiter with these drums. Yeah, there we go. Just pushing the limiter a little bit, which will make it sound a little bit louder, but I want to kind of get the level up to a reasonable thing. And then now that I've pulled the wet gain off of this mastering chain, we should see, we can even push that a little bit because now I can see the limiter. Yeah, so just hitting the limiter and turn it off. Just hitting the limiter. All right, we better get going here though. We have plugins to demonstrate. Okay, and so here I've got a guitar coming in. Let's see, record. Where's my level there? Let's see here. Okay. Oh, I know where it is. It's on my guitar knob. Okay, so there's the raw guitar signal. Got a single coil Squire, Telecaster and thin line, and so that's basically the bare signal coming in. I just tried to get it up to 0K20 as kind of a target. It comes in a little soft. Watching over here is my audio interface. So this is mic 1 channel, just direct in to the front. This thing does ID14, does have a pretty nice JFET DI type preamp type thing, which I think actually, sounds pretty darn good. Maybe if I played a clean note, right? Okay, yeah, I think it has a pretty good tone for just direct in. So let's see here. Let's get some isolated sounds. First, Tacklebox. Tacklebox is a amp simulator, and what it does is it breaks down gain, EQ, and saturation. So you have these 8 slots, right? And so you can kind of experiment. A lot of the presets try to emulate different amps with different amp settings, but just kind of baking it down. The central idea is that there's just these 3 things: gain, EQ, and saturation. And depending on the order, the number of them, how you layer them, the parameters on them, which mainly what EQ characteristics you're sending in to the gain stages. This guy, it does have, when you pop it up, it is like simulating a cabinet on the back end. But that is actually, you can turn that off. And so let's go through. Oh yeah, so we have our first demo of sound right there. This is a Brit Crunch Brick Crunch setting, preset. And so you can sound it's kind of crunchy. The presets are grouped, crunch, like whatever, distortion, metal, or whatever the hell it is. And you have clean tones, right? And so we have pedals too. We have something called Manifold. We have 100 guitar pedals, pedal board. And with that, I can kind of go with a more clean setting. And also high gain, hot rod lead. So there you go. The hot rod lead. Now, black chime, let's go with this one. Boutique glass. This is kind of what I've landed on for when I put a pedals in front of it. Okay, so you can hear. It's nice, nice clean amp. Since it's clean amp, we'll take tackle box off. Now this might have a volume drop, but you can hear that, there's a volume drop, so louder it always sounds better, but I think you can still hear some of the character if I stop talking over it. So that is just the DI direct in from the guitar, and then this is called Boutique Glass. I definitely think I can hear, just kind of a fuller. And so here I'll strum some chords with, this is Tweed Parlor, the second preset on kind of the crunch, which is kind of the middle ground, not quite high gain. And you already tell it kind of lends itself to no longer strumming soft and quiet. Okay, so that is tackle box, and I'll leave it around on this clean boutique sound. That will give us a background with our pedals. I'll also at some point mix this in, hopefully with drums, but we'll see. So I'm gonna go through some pedals here, and let me just bring up a pedal board. So it's called Manifold. Again, this is all these that I'm showing are for sale right now on our website. It's Jalopy Music is the name of my company, and the website is just jalopy.music. So please visit us there. There's screenshots, there's videos, there's text information that like the pedals. It runs down every single pedal board, every single pedal. One that I should show is Lobster, our synth plugin, and it runs down every single piece of synth gear that it's kind of incorporated into it. So the website has loads of information on it, but right now we're focused on isolated sounds. Well, it popped up, and we have Chuck Funk Rhythm here, and let's go with that. We can see we have so when you go and buy a pedal board, you get multiple of these kind of board setups. I think it's, probably on average, they're kind of geared towards genre, so what makes sense. But you should get, about 15 plugins, pedals, and then about 5 or 6 configurations with various, order and parameters and everything. Okay, so we got some funk going on, obviously. And this is going through tackle box now. Let's see here. Okay, and so let's go not through tackle box, right? So this, doesn't sound as much like what you'd kind of expect with a pedal because you always hear it through an amp, but you should hear the characteristics. A little thinner, right? And then let's kind of like take off pedals here. So we have a citrus compressor. We have a backtalk filter. Let's see here. I'm trying to see what it's doing here. Synths, range. It is like a modulating filter, so it's not something that you set, you know, like a high or low pass static. Direct, so the console preamp, that's probably doing the least amount of work. I'll probably just start by enabling that guy on its own. It looks like direct bright DI. It's, you know, a little bit of EQ basically. It's because that thing can like distort, but I don't think it's being pushed. Funk Clean Titan Chorus. So yeah, chorus kind of gives you that bright, jangly, you know, wider feel. So let's see here. I'm going to deactivate everything. So we have no amp. We just have direct guitar. And actually right now, right, we level matched here going. And so we just have the peak limiter that we're just barely hitting here. Now levels are going to change. You can see with just a console preamp, we're not anywhere close to hitting the limiter. So bear with me on this video. You know, the levels will be going up and down, but the bonus is that you get to hear kind of exactly what's coming out. So let's see here. Ah, yeah, good. So the other one's disabled. That's really important. So yeah, you see we just get this kind of this nice clean tone. Again, I'm just trying to remember myself, make sure I'm not lying. So yeah, no master chain and no amp, right? And then let's just bypass that guy. So this is no nothing, right? It's just my guitar. So again, I think we get a little character. I think so. I think the level went up a little bit. But I do feel, it kind of almost feels more stable. But that is subtle. And now also, like in the pedal, well, we have a compressor and a filter, but it, you know, it could be there was like a boost before. It could definitely change the characteristic of it. But I think that these, you know, this filter and this compressor aren't going to be doing much. Certainly the workhorse on this chain, right, is this filter, right? A little modulation. So let's see. Yeah, so we add that, you can hear, and it's clearly based on envelope, right? So it's like, as it detects audio coming in, it's kind of changing what it's filtering as that audio, you know, attack, decay, sustain, and R, release. So you can kind of hear it hold a note. And then I think probably, you know, basically this is set up right with this compressor here, Funk Clean Pop. But no, it doesn't seem to have a sustain on it. I think there are some compressor models within the 100 pedals that will have a sustain on it. Let's see here. Maybe it was a sustain back then, because I definitely feel like there was sustain there. Let's see. Obviously, right? So yeah, so that's the idea with this pedal board, and try to set up the pedal board so they make sense like this, right? Where you have this compressor, which is compressing obviously, but also adding sustain, and throwing that into the filter makes a lot more sense. You can really hear that modulation with like a long note. Let's see what happens if you strum this thing. You know, pretty wild. Okay, and then the chorus. Now this should make it a little more bright and jangly. Funk Clean Titan. Yeah, it's, you know, it almost seems like it's like doubled basically, but it's not. I don't think it's doubled stereo, right? It's doubled pitch and I think time with a chorus. Yeah, and like overall, I'm like, this is not my genre, but it's like a pretty cool effect, right? And then we can add the tackle box in. And while we're doing that, let's just go ahead and turn on the mastering chain here. You hear the level jump. That was from tackle box because I gain matched the master. So we're just barely hitting the peak limiter there. And certainly, you know, even though this mastering chain is pretty simple, and most of it's really for mixing, really. But it does have a little room reverb on there. But mostly it's trying to, you know, tighten. If we have drums and bass and guitar coming in, it's trying to make that all sound like it came from the same place. Yeah, so that's a pretty wild effect. So yeah, I think let me stay with that. We have 100 plugins, so I'm not going to go through all of them. And even though this isn't my genre and I have no idea how to play this, but I think I can, figure something out, at least as demoing, right? Let's see here. I'm going to add a bass. Cut that off. Forget. Take that out of my mouth. Okay, so one of my favorite set of plugins that is not mine, but I will tout endlessly, is mixed-in key pilot plugins. And so this is like MIDI generating. I mostly use it to generate MIDI, and it breaks it up. So it's like chord progression based, it's knob based, right? Like how thicker the chords, it's just great. And so I'll stop talking about somebody else's product in my sales demo. Let's see here. Let's see what we can do here. Let's just go with that, right? That's like close enough, right? All right, guitar volume. We'll see how well this goes. I'm afraid there's a little delay on what I'm hearing in my headphones. I tend to hear the drums and the bass faster. But I'm just gonna kind of plow through that, right? All right. Tell you what, now that I've warmed up, I'll put together a song here. I'll just record this. Let's see here. We don't need groove. We have a pre-roll. Okay. Let's just, this is going to be a mess, but let's go for it. Let's see here. Audio. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 Okay. I think that went well. Okay, so let's see here. And duplicate that track. Let's see here. I'll tell you what. Let's see. Okay, so I got a guitar in my hands. Turn the record off of that. ID. Everything's playing. Get rid of that guy. Let's see here. So I duplicated the tracks. I got everything on there. Okay, I got to remember to isolate. All right, so I'm going to play guitar through Uncanny Valley. And Uncanny Valley mimics a Mellotron, effect. So it's kind of like you take any live instrument or any sound sample or virtual instrument, right? You have any audio coming into it. So it's not a virtual instrument. It's not a Mellotron virtual instrument, but it can take any audio and kind of pretend as if, back in 1967, they had recorded your guitar and put it on a tape strips for every key on the keyboard. So yeah, it's pretty sweet, right? Let's see here. Uncanny Valley. First, let's solo and let's turn off the mastering chain. All right, so this should be just clean guitar going into Uncanny Valley. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this isn't really a guitar effect, right? It's I would say, I think the first Mellotron shipped with like flute and cello and something else, maybe a lot of vocal stuff, right? Like oohs and ahs. But the nice thing about this, right, is you could send your you can hear that, and let's say we just bypass it. Very straightforward, right? And we're going to get all this wobble. And this isn't just a tape emulator, right? There's quite a few of those, which has the while and flutter. So this top right here is the while and flutter, which is a very standard like tape thing. But we have tape head, hysteresis, tape length. I'd say this is probably like the main thing, right? That's like a real Mellotron. It actually like goes through the tape strip, mechanically simulated. And then it hits the end of the tape strip and it rewinds, right? And it's kind of like opportunistic. If you hit another note, it tries to jump in the middle of the tape strip, but it can have some funny artifacts, and you can always turn that off if you don't want that in there. One great thing is we have presets, and then also this timbre transplant, right? So you have all these different timbre transplants. So basically, each preset, you can see with each preset, is changing the timbre transplant. But with any preset here, and anything you set up on all these parameters, then within this preset, you can change this characteristic of it. So, right, you get a million, thousand, gajillion sounds. Make sure we're not bypassed, right? That would be embarrassing. And then, Tacklebox. Well, no, not Tacklebox. Let's see here. One sweet deal. I'm not going to rescan for plugins. That would be a real boring video. But a really cool thing about this Manifold pedalboard is that you can put any third-party VST, including, so we have 100 Manifold pedal plugins, right? And you can use them on their own. They are VST plugins. But you can tell within this UI, it's like really tight UI, right? They each of them are scoped down to one of these blocks. Now, I'm not gonna scan for plugins. I'll do that some other time. But for when you're adding to a slot, you can obviously it popped up a list all the Manifold pedals, and then also you scan for plugins on your system, and something like Uncanny Valley that yes I made, but it's not part of Manifold, right? It's separate. You can drop that in and it will have like a very simple like parameter UI, but then open editor type functionality where it'll pop out and give you the UI of the plugin you're using. Uncanny Valley, I think there's other sources than guitar that show it off. I think probably sustain is probably kind of the main thing because it's kind of, well, maybe if I play chords. Yeah, and just kind of let them ring. Yeah, like there. I think in a higher pitch, it seems like. Okay. So let's see here. Putting my band together. I think I'm going to drop Uncanny Valley because I don't think that will go well in the mix. Let's see here. Trying to think what else is out there. I have one called Windle, which is like a MIDI thing, but it's kind of a different animal in itself. It kind of works like the Pilot plugins, but has its own niche. I have a couple in the works, but I think we've covered, let me bring up the website, I think we've covered everything out there. But yeah, this would be good. Show you the website, right? And so Uncanny Valley, line accord is coming soon. It's a DAW, and it's like a 2-track DAW that tries to get you, recording a song kind of the old way of recording it all the way through, kind of a simple environment, but also do a lot of things smart automatically, but then allow, it has EQ and compressor built in, but allows you to add a plugin if you want. But try to really walk that line where you walk into it. There are lots of visualizations. It's a very left to right workflow. But anyway, it's not for sale yet, so got to polish that one up. Mod Lobster. Let's go ahead and put in Mod Lobster. Now we will come off of our guitar theme, but we're staying on our demo the real sounds of Jalopy plugins theme. Hey, there we go. We got sound. So let's see here. All right, we're just soloing here. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. Hey, baby. I warned you about level, right? So the idea, Mod Lobster, it turns the synth problem from parameter tweaking. Kind of you have like a synth model and you have various stages within it, and they all work differently. And you're turning knobs and changing parameters. And so it kind of does all that for you at incredible scale, like every type of synthesizer, even like trying to catch like specific ones throughout history. So you're talking like subtractive, additive, FM. It also has percussion, and it puts together drum kits for you, all synthesized, nothing sampled. Wavetable is like one of the newer ones. So like the greatest synth plugin is Serum. So what this is trying to do is like you take Serum, right? And Serum is very much like it emulates like every synthesizer, and you go in there and it loads it up in a gorgeous UI. And you tweak knobs and stuff, and you have presets of tweaking those knobs. But what this does is it tries to go out there and not only have those synthesizers of the past, but try to like kind of make these Franken-synths, right? And take all the different kind of module layers in the chain and just mix and match those a lot. I mean, it does also replicate the underlying ones. Yeah, so it creates a million sounds. They're all basically configurations, right? So it's not like it takes up some space, so a million, but it's not like a sample library, right? Not nearly that big. It's a reasonable fast download. And so those are kind of all curated to make sure they sound distinct from each other, right? And then they're kind of like some visualizations of their character and stuff. And the idea is, you can search for stuff, and it's kind of a fuzzy match. So let's see here. If I go to percussion and I type in snare, here we go, live demo, man. Now chaos is high right now, so that actually means like send me some stuff that's not snares. But if I turn chaos to 0, we should. I can already see a sub-second. So it's a very tweaking thing, right? Definitely, I want this plugin to not be a precise search, right? If you want something precise, you save it as a favorite if you want to get back to it. But I do intend, I'll keep on tweaking this. I mean, I can see on the first page, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are snares and 2 are not. And so that feels pretty good to me. I would say perfect world. Chaos 0, you get all snares, but every time you search, even with Chaos 0, I could either, maybe bump it a little bit on the slider. I would want at some point a little bit up on the slider where you're getting all snares, but you're not getting the same ones every time, is my point here. Let's see here. All right. And so you can see this comes there. It has like a full effects chain, right? So some of them are dry, but you go through here, and these sounds are like ready to use. Okay, and this one was clearly like the most interesting of these guys. Let me just slide chaos here. And yeah, see, now we're like not even getting snares. Okay, so let's go chaos, not all the way down, but pretty close. There we go. So at least we have some snares here. I think, you know, it needs to be kind of dialed, right? So look for a future update to dial this in. I mean, it works. It's not really a bug. But I would like for it to show more snares. Ooh, okay. All right. Not bad. Let's see here. Let's tweak with this knob here. Okay. And so the idea is, you know, so you have this chaotic fuzzy match type thing, right? And then really quick preview, right? So you want really fast feedback on the sounds. And then you find one you like, and like I said, you can like it, you know, we'll store it in a little list for you. But this feature, right, you're kind of trying to drill into it, right? Where, let's see here. Okay, so we have a rim here. Trying to drill in and get like a similar sound that that you like, right? So yeah, so the idea is kind of have this million sounds out there, no parameters, kind of like this huge preset space, all sorts of tweaks and synths underneath the hood, and so you find something that you like based on your ear from, you know, like this not random but semi-chaotic list, and that inspires you, and then you drill in, right? Drill in gives you a list of very similar sounds, and then you kind of like go through that list and find the one that you really want. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Let me try to use like a more fuzzy term. I just said, well, I guess I said plush, but I think what I was thinking of was lush. And you can see we have lush, and then so that's good. So on this search, everything showed up here. I'll go through the sounds. So basically, to me, lush should sound, more, you know, soft, not like a lead, right? A lead, which is like kind of piercing. And then we'll go middle on the chaos, right? And even though we typed, so there's a lush, right? So we do get, and this looks pretty good because, you know, it's like a 50-50 thing. But kind of, so we have a lot of lush here, but yeah, again, you know, we want to kind of like have that feel, that dialed in feel where things sound differently, but also kind of match. So here's like soft haze diode, that doesn't say lush in the name. And yeah, I would say, you know, well, that doesn't sound like very lush, even though it has lush in the name, you know, so continuous improvements with this 1 million presets and trying to make it a usable thing. Now this is interesting because it's like soft claw comb, I would say. You know, like it doesn't have lush in the name, but it sounds kind of lush, right? So, and there you go, soft haze. Yeah, so maybe just soft, right? That's a nice sound. Yeah. Okay. Kind of got an intense decay there. All right, so this is obviously our pad. All right, we're soloing it. We're not going to record. Well, we might record that later. Let's see here. just let that fall off there. Always wonderful hearing my improv guitar. It's pretty hard to hear, but you know, I think it served its purpose. So, all right. So let's see here. Let's get more going on. Yeah. So I think we've isolated well. Let's see. When I was playing Mod Lobster, I had the mastering chain turned off. So let's see here. We've got a bass that can come in. I'm thinking here, let's go with tackle box just for the clean amp and kind of the cab simulation. And then let's grab the pedal board again, but let's go a little different here. Manifold pedal board. So we used the funk before. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. Garage Stomp rhythm here. What this has is gritty digital dirt on the gravel bit crusher. Okay, this could be interesting. I have played the bit crusher, and it can get really wild. So let's see. We already have that funk guitar, so let's go completely out of genre. Yeah, we have a bit crusher, a fuzz, and a reverb. All right, here we go. Real deal. See, I told you. All right, isn't that pretty? Okay. Yeah. All right, we're going with that, I think. All right, you definitely can't say that it's doing nothing, right? All right, let's see here. Let's crank, right? Let's go for it. I think I have everything playing, so I'll hear it all. I think I'm in the same key. Oh, I know what's wrong. All right, I know what I did. Okay, now we have the Mod Lobster decay. Okay. So pilot bass, right? I just threw it up there. I was like, I'll just take the first thing. So what's happening is that's an A minor. But I think, yeah, I played the guitar over it. So I guess that worked. I had no idea what key I was in. Let's see here. So A minor, right? Okay, so A minor. You'd be talking about a C. Okay. B flat, that's a C, that's B, okay. All right, let's see how this goes. Pilot, okay, got it. So I did record there, but we'll just get rid of that. Okay. Oh, guitar volume up. Oh, I also don't know the chords. This is a mess, right? Okay, let's see here. All right. Tell you what, why don't I bring up the chords, give me some idea here what I'm playing. All right, A minor. And I guess I can get the F major here. And E minor, E minor. Let's see, this is E flat. That's F. All right, okay, so E minor, there's no, okay, got it. E minor, yeah, right here. Okay. Wow, that's really great, right? I think I need to turn that down a little bit so I can hear the rest of the mix. All right, now I'm gonna watch this thing. A minor, F major, okay. C major, E minor. Okay. Okay, beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right. Let's roll out with a mix here. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. Wow. I think I should loop that part where I actually finally got into. All right. So let's see here. Ooh, okay, yeah, we can see kind of from the wave here when I was finally kind of jamming there. All right, let's see here. Okay. Maybe here. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. Let me take this. Let's see here. Loop around that. Now, I kind of felt like, here, I'm just going to duplicate it in case I mess something up. But here we go. This is called arranging and mixing on the fly, right? Let's see here. So this lead part here seemed a lot better. So let me just count back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's see here. And so, you know what? I'll just do E there. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? And I think that should be lined up. I don't think I was playing the wrong scale on the lead, so because I thought we were in like B flat or something. But it sounded okay to my ear, so let's see here. Let's throw in maybe, well, yeah, let's see. What the hell was I think I was playing in B flat on the pad, so those B flat and A minor don't go together. Jeez. So, well, let's just make really crappy music, I guess. This is all about the capabilities of the plugins. Let's see here. No. Let's try to mix this thing. This is not the kind of music I mix, and hell, it's not even in key, so. I'm just going to loop those 4 bars because I think they're somewhat tolerable. I mean, the synth makes no sense. I think we'll mute the synth. Wow, it's coming in real hot. I didn't even notice that. With the full mix, it's really pushing the limiter. Okay, we're gonna bring that down. We're gonna come in here into ozone and, like, you know, I mean, not do a real master, but at least push the auto button. Now this thing is terrible when it, you know, there's like high CPU and glitches, so I will try to save you from that via input here. We'll just take this input. This is the peak after the ozone. So while it's doing its crazy machine learning magic there, we will turn that down. And then it should come out now, because we're at about 0K20 going in. Go through this ozone mastering. God, it looks, has a pretty curve, right? And it recognizes it as rock. That's good. So I'll bring it up slowly. How about that? We'll see how good the mix sounds. Well, or I'll double click it and jump it up. I'm definitely, oh, I haven't, no, I can crank it up here for myself. All right, I'm definitely changing genres from here on out. And, you know, maybe this genre, like, you're supposed to be in the wrong key. That's pretty interesting. I would be okay. Let's see, B flat and C. You know, that's true. A major or A minor is C major, basically. And for B flat, B flat, B, C, which is, I just play in B flat. So whenever I pull up Pilot, I always go to B flat, and I just skipped it. I won't go into that story, but I could see, you know, C major and B flat major, and in fact, yeah, I was going up there. Anyways, I did notice that I guess it ended on whatever it ended on was supposed to be a minor, and I noticed that it sounded better as a major. So it's in some funky state there. The C would be the 2 on the B flat. So yeah, you know, there's some notes in there. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I am Brian Edwards. I'm pointing at you. Definitely should let this roll off, right? After this little statement. Jalopy.music. We sell VST plugins. Yes, they are also audio units, because Apple has to do their own thing, right? So Logic Pro works. Not Pro Tools, because that's AAX, and no way in hell. If you go use Pro Tools, go do your thing, right? But if you use Bitwig, Logic Pro, Ableton, Reaper, others, right? That mostly VST. VST3 is by far the most wide open thing that everything supports. But yeah, Mac OS, Windows, yeah, so we should have you covered. Go to the website, subscribe to Folk Sequence on YouTube, and go to the website jalopy.music, JALOPY.MUSIC, because you don't know how to spell music. I think I need to stop talking and just let this thing speak for itself, right? Oh, well.